Hey everyone. So, in this age of super smart AI-powered IDEs, you'd think the old school command line would be a museum piece, right? But something really interesting is happening. We're seeing top developers ditching these brand new flashy tools and heading straight back to the terminal. So let's get into why this move that looks like a step backward is actually a huge leap into the future.
This quote from Corey Lanu just nails it. It perfectly sets up the puzzle we're going to solve today. He didn't quit on AI. He went back to the terminal because of AI. How does that even work? How did AI getting smarter and better lead a developer back to one of the oldest interfaces we have? Stick around because we're going to unravel this. Okay, so to really get this, you have to put yourself in the shoes of a developer. When tools like GitHub Copilot and Cursor first hit the scene, it created a real conflict, a genuine dilemma.
So picture this. On one hand, you've got your terminal workflow. You've spent like a decade perfecting it. Every alias, every keyboard shortcut is pure muscle memory. It's fast, it's light, it's yours. Then, on the other hand, these AI IDEs show up, and they're offering this incredible out-of-the-box power. The choice was just brutal. Do you stick with the workflow you've mastered, or do you chase this massive, undeniable productivity boost?
And when I say massive, I mean it. We're not talking about, a 10% improvement here. Developers were reporting that they were suddenly 2, even 3 times more productive. When you see numbers like that, you can't ignore it. The promise was just too big to pass up.
And here's the real kicker. It wasn't just about speed. The AI wasn't just a faster typist. It was often writing a smarter first draft of the code. It was adding in those little safety checks, thinking about weird edge cases, all the stuff a human dev might circle back to later, after some testing. The AI was basically making the initial code more solid from the get-go. But of course, there's always a catch, right? This incredible new power, well, it came with a price tag. The transition wasn't smooth. There was a lot of friction, both on a personal level and a technical one, and it started to show the cracks in this new IDE-first world.
First up, the personal pain. Trying to unlearn 10 years of keyboard shortcuts is it's brutal. For a serious developer, every single time your hand has to leave the keyboard to grab the mouse, it feels like a tiny little failure. It breaks your flow, and on top of that, these IDEs were absolute resource hogs. We're talking daily crashes, forcing reboots just to get through the day. It was frustrating.
But here's the crucial part. This wasn't just about being annoyed or stuck in old habits. The real breaking point, the thing that changed the game, was when this new way of working with AI slammed headfirst into a hard, fundamental limit of the system.
And this is the question that blew everything up. See, the AI models got so good, so capable, that the next logical step was to run a whole bunch of them at once in parallel, each working on a piece of the problem. But what happens to your computer when you try to do that inside one of these fancy IDEs?
Well, let's look at the data. It gets ugly fast. Every single IDE window you open is its own heavy thing. It has to spin up a language server, in this case for the Go language, and that alone eats up almost 5 gigs of RAM. Then you add the processes for the graphics card, for rendering the interface, and you're looking at a huge memory footprint for one single project. Now, try to imagine spinning up 20 of these.
Yeah, when you do the math for running 15 or 20 of these AI sessions at once, the number you get is just insane. You need about 150 gigabytes of RAM. That's not something you can just go buy. For a developer working on a high-end 64-gig machine, it was literally impossible. The very workflow that AI made possible was being blocked by the tool designed to help you use it.
So hitting this wall, it forced a huge realization. The problem wasn't really the tool. The problem was that the job of being a developer was changing at a fundamental level. A whole new paradigm was emerging.
Basically, the AI got so powerful that the human's job shifted. It was no longer about typing out every line of code, every function. The job was becoming more like an orchestra conductor. You do the research, you come up with a plan, and then you orchestrate a team of AI agents to actually build the thing.
And this is what that new workflow looks like. It's beautiful, really. The human does the high-level thinking, then one AI takes a first pass at writing the code. But it doesn't stop there. A second AI comes in and acts as a code reviewer for the first one. How cool is that? And only after all that does it come back to the human for the final stamp of approval. It's a true collaboration.
So if these big, heavy IDEs can't handle this new way of working, what can? The answer was surprising. It was to go back to the terminal, but not the terminal of the past, a new, superpowered version built for the age of AI.
And this slide right here, this is the money shot. This is the whole story in one image. To do the exact same job, running 20 AI sessions in parallel, The IDE workflow needed an impossible 150 gigs of RAM, and the terminal workflow? Just 15 gigs. That is a 10-fold difference, a 10x reduction. Suddenly, the impossible became easy.
So what's the magic trick here? How is that even possible? A huge part of the answer is a tool called Tmux. The simplest way to think about it is like a window manager, but inside your terminal. It lets you create, manage, and jump between dozens of different command line sessions without breaking a sweat. It's the foundation that makes orchestrating all those AI agents possible.
And this really shows the whole philosophy. A modern terminal setup isn't one giant monolithic program. It's a modular stack of specialized, lightweight tools. You pick a fast, smooth terminal emulator, you add Tmux to manage your sessions, you use a blazing fast editor like NeoVim, and then you layer your command line AI tools on top. It's lean, it's powerful, and it's built exactly the way you want it.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't setting all that terminal stuff up a complete nightmare? And normally, you'd be right. But here's the brilliant twist. You use the AI to solve that problem. The very same AI agents that are going to run in this environment can also build it for you. They can write the configuration files, they can debug the setup. The AI literally builds its own perfect home to work in.
And this whole story, this move from IDEs back to the terminal, it's not just about one developer's workflow. It's pointing to a much bigger trend. The future of software development is looking a lot like AI agent orchestration. A really cool part of this future is how we teach the AI the specific rules for each project. With a tool like Claude, you can just drop a file called claude.md into your project. In that file, you tell it your coding style, how to run your tests, anything you want. It's like leaving a permanent instruction manual for your AI assistant right where it works. And this isn't just a fun party trick. It gets real, measurable results. The data shows that giving an AI these custom instructions boosts its performance on general tasks by over 5%. But when you give it instructions specific to one codebase, its performance on tasks in that codebase jumps by over 10%. Specialization pays off, big time.
And the crazy part is, we're just getting started. People are already working on things like agent forking, where one AI can spin up little helper AIs to go solve side problems. There are tools being built to let these agents run completely on their own, 24/7. We're even seeing agents that can control their own terminal windows. The future is wild.
So all of this brings us to one final big question for you to think about. As AI keeps evolving at this breakneck speed, it's worth taking a hard look at your own workflow. Is your development environment, the set of tools you use every single day, really a tool that's empowering you? Or has it quietly become the bottleneck that's holding you back?